Danny Doom! Welcome to this video of, is this Christian propaganda? You decide. So me and my girlfriend were just chilling out one night, going through the endless torrent of terribleness that is Amazon Prime. Frankenhooker, classic. Zombie tidal wave is a thing of beauty. The Baby Oopsie trilogy, we'll talk about that more in another video. But then we saw Danny Doom, and I've got to say, my mind was blown. This movie was written, directed, and produced by one man, which is the perfect recipe for any shitty low-budget movie. But that man is Matthew Wilson, and from what I've been able to find, he's actually got a decent background in movies. He worked on Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, one episode of Transformers, one episode of Crypto the Superdog, but then he decided to make his own films. Films like Christian Dating, The Pastor and the Pro, which is short for prostitute, obviously. Awesomest Christmas Ever, which I really want to watch. And obviously Danny Doom, which we're going to be looking at today. And I can guarantee that you won't be able to guess what the first line of dialogue is in this movie. It's physically impossible.
On September 11th, 2001, something happened that affected me for the rest of my life. I was born.
Where we face these terrorist threats, including proliferation of weapons of mass
9/11. I mean, to be fair, movie, you've got me hooked. I mean, I was never expecting to be jump scared by 9/11. Well, nobody there did either, to be fair. I'm only kidding. I mean, I'll try and keep my jokes plain from now on. So 9/11 in this movie, what a crazy thing to say. But 9/11 in this movie is also Danny's birthday, which means that it's the catalyst, the jet fuel, if you will, on the steel beams of this movie. You see, being born on 9/11 meant that Danny got bullied for his entire life.
If you think the other kids were nice and understanding about it, you've been watching too many movies.
I just want Danny Doom.
That's what they called me. Danny Doom. Because somehow everything about me was a disaster.
He's really acting like Danny Doom isn't the coolest nickname possible. Just lean into it and wear a cool-ass mask and run a small country. Is Latvia small? Is it Latvia? I don't know much about Dr. Doom. And aren't these kids like 8? How do they know enough about 9/11 to bully their friend for being born on it? Well, he wasn't born on 9/11, he was born on the same day, but you know what I mean.
We should have a party.
But it's awkward.
Why? 9/11 wasn't his fault.
Right, it wasn't his fault.
Oh, it's W's, right? Obama would have saved the day like a superhero.
Don't you dare make fun of him.
His parents despise him. 9/11 wasn't his fault. I mean, just for him to say that means that she was in some way accusing this child of committing a terrorist attack. Like he was posted up in the womb with loads of equipment puppeteering different terrorist organizations.
That only happened with September 11th. So what am I supposed to do with a birthday like that? It's not like I can call it Danny Day and expect you to know what I'm talking about. I have to say, it's September 11th. You can see how I developed some issues.
I really want to know if this has ever happened to anybody ever. I mean, if you were born on September 11th, 2001, please let me know if you were bullied for it, because that's stupid. Because imagine if that happened with any other terrible event. I don't want Iceberg Jack on my team, he'll sink us. Get out of here, Hydrogen Henry, you're just gonna blow up again. Good thing nothing bad has ever happened here. Danny said that this all caused him to develop some issues, but as we'll see throughout the movie, that doesn't excuse anything that he does. But life was just so hard for Danny until somebody came and saved him.
Then in high school, I met someone who changed my life.
Hey, new youth group. Everyone's welcome.
His name was Jesus.
Jesus saved this man from the lingering memory of 9/11. I feel like I'm saying 9/11 a bit too much, but it's an important plot point. His pastor then comes by after discussing with the elders, yes, that's what he actually says, and explains that Danny is trying to start a drama ministry, join the church staff, and attend Bible college all at the same time. And I had no idea that Bible college even existed. But the Ravioli is worried because starting so many projects is a lot of work and comes with a lot of temptation. But just as Danny is explaining how temptation will never affect him, nothing will pull him from God's light. His phone answers a call all by itself and his friend says this.
I gotta call you back, Bo.
This is an emergency.
Okay, alright, well tell me later.
Megan Hendrickson broke up with her boyfriend.
Megan Hendrickson just broke up with her boyfriend. Oh, this is huge. This is huge. That's it. F Jesus. F the church. I mean, God, you were pretty cool for a little bit there, but now there's some chance at some poontang. He gets it. So he sprints out of there all the way over to Megan's house the very second he finds out that they broke up, which goes about as painfully as you'd expect.
How do you know where I live?
I follow you. Online. You posted pictures of your house. Sometime when you're free.
I'll be busy for a while.
Doing what? The tour is gonna be all summer.
Something came up.
Oh, wait, are you saying, but you broke up with Damien?
Yeah. This morning.
I know, that's why I came over.
Danny, you can't just ask me for a date out of the blue.
It's not out of the blue. I've been thinking about this for months.
God has someone else for you, too.
Oh, come on, Megan. I've been fantasizing about you for months. You have to accept my love. The fact that some people's brains work like that is crazy. And of course, he blames her not wanting him on the only possible reason as to why she would reject him. 9/11.
Danny Doom strikes again.
If only I wasn't born on September 11th, then she would see that I'm not a terrorist. But because he's so heartbroken, he leans into his evil character a bit too much during a church performance of Hambone.
But
At my show tonight, there's gonna be a choir drunk babes.
But Hambone Jesus.
After the show, me and the drunk babes are gonna go scream at old people to give them heart attacks.
But Hambone.
And when the paramedics come, we're gonna steal an ambulance and go joyriding around for car crashes. When the people see us and they say, we're saved, we're gonna smash into them. And then the mothers are gonna show up and cry, and we will pull their hair out.
Okay, man, you just calm down. Not getting a woman is no reason to murder people and torture their mothers. Jesus was the only thing that stopped this guy from becoming a serial killer. After they bomb, though, we get a really weird and really long retelling of the scene we just watched of Megan rejecting Danny. And when I say it goes on for a while, it goes on for a while. This movie is only an hour and 20 minutes, and they still had to do bullshit like this to pad the runtime. But Danny is far from done at trying to win Megan over, so we get a montage of him stalking her and trying to talk to her. Are we supposed to like the protagonist? Because watching him constantly harass and scare the main love interest of the film doesn't really make me like him. For a movie that's centered around a romance, I have never wanted to not see the main characters get together as much as these guys. The stalking actually goes on to a point where Megan has to confront Danny about it.
Decided to walk home instead of pollute.
Danny, this has to stop.
What?
Coming up with excuses to see me.
I really did buy the beats.
Look, I know you have it in your head that this is gonna work somehow, but it's not. It's working against you.
Listen, I'll just take my beats and go.
No more, Danny, okay?
I understand. See you later.
No, don't see me later.
Which is a very fair reaction. I mean, I'd say that a restraining order is better, but that'll do for now. You'll see that for most of this movie, Megan is the most realistic character here, entirely because she just despises the main character. But now his drama group are about to perform at Megan's church, and Danny knows that she's gonna freak out if she sees him. If only he had just waited and lived life as normal, then they would have been able to run into each other here and potentially start a real romance. But no, he's just a freak who should never go out in public, and it's not because of his birthday, it's because he's weird. But to get around this, Danny puts on a disguise. He puts on all of the coolest and most badass things he could ever think of. Like a tattoo on his face that says Rebel. You might as well just put damaged on his forehead at that point.
The used condoms. At least they were used.
Who did you send used condoms to?
Oh, everybody.
But the bandana, backwards hat, and single-colored contact lens is really what ties this look together. Because that's what rebels and gangsters wear. They put in their single-colored eye contact lens and go out and sell hard drugs. But Megan overhears him practicing for his performance.
A gang symphony that uses violin strings to strangle puppies. And then they throw the dead puppies at pastors while they're trying to preach their sermons.
Can I help you? Hello?
Nothing brings in the ladies like talking about strangling puppies. It works every time. But in order to stop Megan from realizing that he's the creepy weirdo stalker guy, he puts on this really cool, mysterious character with a perfectly terrible Brooklyn accent, which only makes him even more of a weirdo, creepy stalker guy. Get this man away from women, all women. You know, the other day I found out about periods and I just got so angry because how could God do that to our beautiful women? Megan and Danny, or Hambone actually, because that's the name of this new persona, because Bible, they ditched church to go to a house party at Megan's ex-boyfriend's house, Damien. And when I call it a party, that's just what the movie calls it. I don't think anybody involved in this movie has ever been to a party in their life.
You seem surprised to see me. Did you forget that I was invited to this party?
No music. Before they arrived, it was just 3 people, one of them third wheeling, and a lot of empty beer cans. How long could you spend at this party? For me, it would be like an hour max. An hour of constant unbridled pain is just about as much as I can take. We learn that Damien and his band just packed up their van in order to go on a countrywide music tour. But this quickly escalates to Hambone challenging Damien to a drink-off.
I could drink you under the table.
And of course, this movie shows us the entire thing until...
Hey, you can't spit it out.
What?
I saw you spit it on your sleeve.
No, I didn't.
Is that why you got your shirt wet? You thought you could spit him out and it would blend in?
How did nobody notice that? Hey, wait a minute. His shirt's wet. Somebody get him a new shirt. This further escalates to, just be ready for this. Damien challenging Hambone to punch his new girlfriend in the face.
Her.
Damien.
Don't worry. He won't do it. Because he's scared. You said you could beat me at any game. Hit her, or you lose.
Hold her steady.
Don't do it, Hambo.
And it's never talked about again. Just help that poor woman. She just got offered up as a punching bag for her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Call the police. Once they leave, Megan explains that she and Damien broke up because she wanted to wait until marriage before getting jiggy with it. And then 2 seconds after explaining that, Damien uploads an apparently edited nude picture of her.
Damien posted something. A picture of me, but it's fake. That is my face, but that is not my body.
Forget it. The internet's garbage.
My God, that's disgusting. Naked pics online? Where? Where did he post those?
So the duo, these characters should never be a duo, but the duo decide that the only way to get Damien to take down that picture is to steal his van. So they steal the van and hide it in the woods, and I'm not going to talk about the heist because literally nothing exciting happens. You'd expect that stealing a van would be quite a high-stakes, interesting, and exciting event, but no, nothing happens. But one shriek of pure terror later, Hambone/Danny is walking Megan home, and she kisses him.
Megan... I kissed Megan Hendrickson.
Sexual assault is not something to be grinning about, my guy. Chat, is it okay to kiss a girl under false pretenses and a different identity while she doesn't know that you're the guy that's been stalking her for months? Me to my blind girlfriend every time she tries to break up with me. Danny also only seems to justify how that kiss was technically Megan kissing him and not Hambone, like they're the same person.
It didn't matter that she didn't know it was me, because after all, it was me. It didn't matter what I had to do to get there.
But doesn't think for a second about the horrific betrayal of all trust and decency that he's just committed. Is there a guy like this in every church? Because I've seen it in quite a few movies where there'll be a female Christian character who just doesn't want to date Christian boys because they're weird. So is this a thing? Danny then realizes that he just stole a van, that's a crime. So he re-steals the van and returns it to Damien because it would be so evil to stop this abusive alcoholic psychopath that offers up his girlfriends as punching bags and creates fake nude pictures of his ex-girlfriends to upload online. It would be so wrong to stop him from touring all around the country and being able to commit so much more evil stuff. As well as giving them more opportunities for their band to actually get big and get noticed, and then he can do even more evil things. Danny needs to think about the greater good, that's all I'm saying. But he gets caught dropping the van off by Damien and his jabronis, and they're obviously like, why do you have my van? Who the fuck are you? But Danny manages to talk his way out of it and uses the power of religious guilt to make Damien take the picture down.
What are you gonna do about it, Freddy?
Remind you of your guilt-stained conscience?
And now Danny is being hailed as a hero for returning the van. People want to talk to him, they want to take pictures with him. He's a real celebrity now. At least he's a celebrity to everyone except the one person that matters. Because he obviously goes to Megan's house to gloat about it.
Did you hear the news? I found Damien's van and brought it back. And he took down that picture.
I told you I didn't want to see you again.
Thought this would be news you'd want to hear.
I already heard that news, and it was not what I wanted to hear.
But I got him to take down the picture.
I didn't ask you to do that. I asked you to leave me alone.
But...
Goodbye.
But there is one guy that she won't immediately look at in disgust. And this time when they meet up, all he does is just hype up how amazing Danny is, whilst also trying to justify stalking.
I'd believe that if he hadn't already been following me.
What's wrong with that?
I follow you.
Yeah, but that's different. This guy, he's like obsessed.
So he really, really likes you. Don't you think somebody should really, really like you?
Not like this. And that's not all. He told everyone that God led him to the van. Of course, all the crazy Christians believed him, so now he's their hero when all he did was stalk me.
The director is really trying to show us what he thinks here. Thankfully though, Megan doesn't listen to any of it because she shouldn't. She needs to get as far away from Danny as she possibly can. So she talks Hambone into intimidating himself, and this is where the movie gets a little bit complicated. He breaks into his own house and he leads her into his bedroom, and honestly, the first time when I watched this, I thought he was going to try and kiss her or like do something worse because he's lured her into his bedroom. A person who definitely has a Dennis Reynolds style security system in his bedroom.
A digital copy of your thumbprint has been sent as your e-signature confirming your full consent for whatever may happen to you.
Oh, God.
Danny, or Hambone I guess, then records a message to himself challenging himself to a fight.
You know who's never gonna be in your room? Megan, because she doesn't want to be with you. She thinks you're a joke. So if you don't leave her alone, you're gonna get hurt. By me. Tomorrow night, because I'm challenging you to a fight. 5 p.m. at the park. If you're not afraid.
Because he's a fucking idiot. His plan here is to set up a fight, go there as Danny so Hambone won't show up, which of course counts as an automatic win, meaning that Megan will see him as an absolute Chad and want to be with him immediately. Even though this entire situation was brought about from Megan's desire to just watch Danny get the shit kicked out of him. Danny's mind is just in a completely different reality. But Megan posted it online, so now everybody knows and everybody is expecting a fight. One person also said that Hambone is twice Danny's size. Are you stupid? Even Danny's rigatoni finds out about the fight and tells him that if he goes, even with no desire to fight, he will lose everything. Everything will be gone. The drama ministry, the church job, the Bible college, all of it gone, even if he just goes there to try and talk out the situation and calm everything down. Because it's just not Christian enough.
He's giving you a choice, and fighting is the wrong one. Why? Because Jesus said to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. If you fight him, I'll have to fire you.
Why?
You represent the church now. And the Lord's servant must not quarrel.
Even if there's no fight.
Showing up would mean you approve of it.
Jesus never showed up and talked anybody out of a fight before. That's crazy. But this fight gets even more complicated and stupid because Danny tells his church friends about everything he's been doing. You know, the whole pretending to be a completely different person in order to trick and get kisses from the girl he's been obsessed over for months. And they decide to help him and not Megan. These two church-going, lawful good Christians decide to help Danny trick somebody into loving him rather than telling her the truth and saving her all of this pain. So together they're going to stage the fight, and something about the first lines of dialogue between the two love interests makes me think that this plan is going to fail.
You didn't think I'd come, did you?
I didn't think about you at all.
Oh, just take the L and move on. Please, Danny! Also, this fight was so hyped up and everybody knew about it, but they couldn't afford to get any extras in, so it's just Megan there. Whenever there was a fight announcement at school, you knew that everybody was going to be there. So one of his friends dresses like Hambone whilst the other distracts Megan so they can stage the fight from the distance, and Danny wins. I mean, he did it. He's definitely going to get the girl now, except for the one flaw in their plan, being that Megan is a human being.
Looks like I won!
Hambone! Hambone! You're not him. If you thought a fake tattoo would fool me, then you're wrong. You want to know why I don't hang out with church boys? Because of stuff like this. All right, everyone, he faked the fight. Danny Doom strikes again.
She just doesn't care about you, Danny. Even when he won, she still ran after the other guy, which is also you, because she cares about him more, but that's also you. Oh, this movie. But the power of Hambone is just too strong, so Megan tells him that she's leaving the church to be with him.
I'm gonna talk to my dad and tell him that I'm leaving the church. I can't live a double life anymore. I am done with that world. But you've shown me how to be real. I can't fake it for the rest of my life.
And she wants him to be there in the room when she tells her dad this decision. which is a terrible idea. You want him to get murdered? But it's at the doorway to Megan's house, just before she's about to leave the church, Danny reveals who he really is.
I'm Danny.
Get away from me.
I know you're mad because life hasn't gone your way, and you want to get it back under control.
Go away
but
now.
You can't because you're weak. We all are. If all we have is each other, then we're doomed.
You said get away!
You're weak, we all are. If all we have is each other, then we are doomed is a crazy line of dialogue. Did he only reveal himself because of God? He only felt the need to expose himself when she threatened to leave God, so he could try and convince her to stay in the church. But because he showed up to the fight, he has actually lost everything, including the Bible college. So now Danny is just alone and depressed, which, to be honest, is kind of what he deserves. But then he gets a knock at the door.
Excuse me just a minute.
It doesn't have to be now, but sometime when you're free. Could we get coffee?
No, I mean, I feel like I should be happy about this, but I'm just not. He shouldn't get the girl. He's the worst. She should put 15 restraining orders on that guy. Stay away! But then the movie just ends. So Danny lost everything around his belief, his entire future, for this girl who I imagine still left the church, because why would she stay in the church after going through something like that? After what Danny put her through? And this is why I get so confused about whether this movie is actually Christian propaganda or not. Earlier in the film, Megan has this really long monologue about how she can't talk to anybody in the church about her issues because they're just so Christian that they'll try and force her to change.
Why would you date someone like him?
Growing up in the church, it's different. There were things I couldn't talk to anyone about, but I could talk to him.
Couldn't talk to anyone at church?
It's like we're all on a show playing the role of good Christian, and it's exhausting.
Even going so far as splitting the world into two groups, Christians and real people.
I want to be real, you know, like you. The way you punch Damien, I mean, that is what real people do. Christians aren't supposed to fight. Only real people can do that.
Real people, obviously those who aren't Christians, are people who are able to act and live and love and do everything without it having to revolve around being lawful, good, and Christian. Which I thought was a pretty surprising and interesting take for this movie to do. I mean, especially when it's made by all Christians. Well, not all Christians, just some of them, but you know what I mean. But both characters start off as solid Christians and are being drawn in by temptation, with Danny obviously being lust and Megan, I guess, also being lust, because when he was talking about strangling puppies, she got really into it. I just think he went way too far with the Danny character here. He made them into the most unlikable sociopath possible. Everything that Danny does in this movie is completely reprehensible, to the point where the audience actively roots against the main characters getting together. It's a rom-com, but nobody wants the rom to happen. And he still gets the only thing that he wanted. So maybe we should sin then, f*** it. Throughout the entire movie, the characters are actively falling away from God, yeah? And at the end, he only reveals himself because she threatens to leave God, meaning that God is more important than his temptation. Sure, but then he loses everything. All of it. He's out of the church, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have college anymore, and it is left ambiguous about whether these characters even care about the faith in the end anyway. So is it Christian propaganda if both characters end up outside of the faith? I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely overanalyzing this terrible movie, but that's all part of the fun with this type of B-movie schlock, I guess. It's a fine movie though. Like I said, the message gets a bit confusing if it was ever even intended to have a message in the first place. But overall, it's decent. It's a good thing to watch with people if you manage to get into the drama of it all. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel and I really do appreciate it. And if you do subscribe, then I will pray for your sins. But not for them to go away. I'm gonna double them up. Have a great day.